Hello there. Let's talk about behavioral and social theory of learning. So what is learning anyway? Children are excellent learners. What a person learns may not always be intended to teach. Learning is change in an individual caused by experience. Let's talk more about learning. There are two types of learning theory: behavioral learning theories, ways that pleasurable and unpleasant consequences of behavior changes a person's learning behavior over a period of time. There's also social learning theories, effect of thought on action and action on thought. Let me introduce you to a scientist named Ervin Pavlov. Ervin Pavlov, in the early 19th century in Russia, he lived with his dogs, and whenever Pavlov would bring the dogs food to them, they would salivate. But one day, he walked into the room without food and was shocked to see that the dogs would still salivate in anticipation. What Pavlov accidentally discovered was the operation of classical condition. He didn't have to do anything to make the dogs salivate when they saw food, but Pavlov wondered if he did something to make the dogs think that they were getting food. Could he make them salivate whenever he wanted them to? And that's just what he did. Pavlov identified the stimulus, the thing that started the dogs drooling. The stimulus is the food because it made the dogs salivate. Then he parted the stimulus with a separate incident. Every time Pavlov brought the dogs food, he'd ring a bell. Ring-a-ling-a-ling. Once the dogs got used to the sound of the bell, at feeding time, Pavlov tried ringing the bell without giving the dogs any food. And voila! The dogs started salivating anyway. Pavlov had successfully trained the dogs to react to a new stimulus, the ringing of the bell. Ding-a-ling-a-ling. The same way they reacted to food. Classical condition is a learning process that inspires behavioralism by taking an unconditional stimulus, which is the food, that naturally cause the dogs to drool, and combining it with something internally neutral, the bell. He was able to remove the first stimulus and make something that was formally neutral enlist the conditioned response, but we will talk about that later. Let me introduce you to another scientist. His name is B.F. Skinner. He was an American scientist that was born in 1904. He took it just one step further. Skinner is often called the father of operational conditioning. He was most famous conducting experiments with animals and his Skinner box, like another scientist like Watson. Skinner believed that psychology should be studied through a more objective lens, and that's required more hard evidence, more observations, and experimentation. Operant conditioning is similar to classical conditioning, but by no means the two are the same. You see, operant conditioning involves changing one's behavior by use of reinforcement or punishment, which is given after desire response. The behavior that change in operant conditioning are voluntary. The behavior operate on the environment to produce an outcome and focuses on motivation, which is when someone or something has a strong reasoning to do something. Classical conditioning changes only the voluntary response. Skinner used animals, predominantly rats and pigeons, to conduct his experiments. One of his first experiments, he placed a rat into a box with a feeding tube connected to a lever. Once the rat realized every time he pressed the lever, the rat got food. Skinner noticed that the rat spent a great deal of time pressing the lever. Once the rats realized every time they pressed the lever, they got food, Skinner noticed that the rats spent a great deal of time pressing the lever. Skinner actually trained the rats to press the lever by using positive reinforcement. By giving the rats food every time they pressed the lever, the likelihood of the behavior increased. Aside from positive reinforcement, there are other ways to increase or decrease the likelihood of behavior. Negative reinforcement occurs when a negative consequence occurs in order to increase the likelihood of behavior. If Skinner wanted to use a negative reinforcement to make the rat press the lever, he might send electrical shock through the box until the rat presses the lever. Although this would be an ethical questioning method of reinforcement, the rat's behavior would increase to its desire to make the negative consequence stop. On the other hand, punishment is used to decrease a behavior. For example, when your mother makes you do chores, you don't do your homework. This is called positive punishment. Because the punishment is added on, given to you, it is considered positive. If, as a punishment for not finishing your homework, your mother takes away your video games, that is considered a negative punishment. It is negative because something was taken away in order to decrease a behavior. Another hallmark of operant conditioning is shaping, or success of operants. Shaping is used in behavioral learning theory to refer to the teaching of new skills or behavior by reinforcing learning for approaching desired final behavior. For example, in teaching children to tie their shoes with laces, we would not simply show them how it is done and then wait to reinforce them until they do the whole job themselves. Rather, we would first reinforce them for trying the first knot, then for making the loop, and so on until they can do the entire task. In this way, we would be shaping the children's behavior by reinforcing all these steps that lead towards the final goal. Skinner also pioneered a concept of schedules of reinforcement. When we talk about schedules of reinforcement, ratio means behavior as in how many times the individual must respond with the desired behavior in order to get a reinforcement. Interval means time as in how long the individual must wait between reinforcements. Let's imagine a candy machine. Typically, a candy machine would give a reward every time the hungry customer lists the desired behavior by putting money into the machine. This is called continuous reinforcement. The customer only needs to respond once in order to be rewarded, and they are going to be rewarded every single time. What if we change the schedule of reinforcement? If the candy machine had a fixed ratio reinforcement, it would give a piece of candy after a fixed number of payments, such as every 5 coins put in every 5 times the customer shows the desirable behavior, he is reinforced. The machine may also operate on a fixed interval schedule, meaning it will dispense a piece of candy after a certain amount of time. Let's say every minute, as long as the coin has been put in. The customer is rewarded. After 1 minute passes, as long as they show the desirable behavior at least once during that time. Okay, let's just say our friend comes upon a candy machine that uses a variable ratio reinforcement. There won't be a number of coins that will continuously give them the candy. The first reinforcement may require 3 coins, but the next one might not come until he puts in 8 coins. The number of responses required for the reward is unpredictable. The same goes for variable interval reinforcement. When no matter how many coins they put in, the individual will not get a piece of candy until a certain amount of time passes. But this time, the time will be different every time. They put in a coin. The first time they put in 1 coin, it may take 20 seconds for the piece of candy to be dispensed. The second time, it might take up to 5 hours. Applying all this information into a classroom implication, if the teacher is constant and repetitive with the stimuli, eventually the students will come to learn to behave properly through classical conditioning. Before classical conditioning, the teacher instructs the class to quiet down. Will the students quiet down? Clapping 3 times they will not get quiet. During conditioning, clapping 3 times and instructing the class to be quiet the students will get quiet. After conditioning, 3 claps at this time will get the students quiet. The student's behavior has been conditioned. When they clap 3 times, the teacher claps 3 times, and the students are quiet.